What's up guys, how are you guys doing? In this video we're gonna be talking about Tenebria. Okay, as you guys can see in my summons, I did get Tenebria to A2 and I did get to taste her a little bit, especially with like melee and stuff. And yeah, she's probably one of the weirdest characters that came out in the game so far, okay, in my opinion. Okay, so we're gonna talk about her and we're gonna talk about a couple of synergy you guys can do with her. Okay, for now. Okay, I don't fully understand her kit, like not completely understand it, but you know I do have a grasp of what she's able to do. Okay, but before that I do want to show you guys a cool thing they added called the jukebox right here. This pretty much allow you to play any songs from like different seasons and like episodes and stuff like that, and you could play any songs and then you could do this check mark right here, right? You see this check mark, and then once you click this check mark, it will keep the album playing in the lobby, right? When say album is, will play all of these songs like one by one, okay, when you play it in the lobby. Okay, so yeah, pretty cool stuff they had right here. And yeah, I didn't think we needed this. We needed something like this, but we definitely do need this. Okay, this is amazing. Anyways, let's talk about Tenebria now. Okay, so Tenebria, like I said, one of the weirdest cards that came out in the game. Okay, and yeah, and she's kind of complicated, I'm not gonna lie, okay, because there's so many different things you guys can do with her when it comes to her rhythm cards. Okay, because she has so many of those rhythm cards. Okay, so let's talk about her cards in general. Right, what you guys need to know about Tenebria is pretty much she's able to exhaust any basic cards and create rhythm cards. Okay, and these rhythm cards, they go up to like, yeah, up to like 11 rhythm cards. So she have 11 different kinds of rhythm cards, and yeah, she's able to utilize each of the any of these rhythm cards to do damage and stuff like that. Okay, and have a different type of effects based on the type of rhythm she's able to create. Right, her main ones are of course the base version of rhythm right here, and then she have something called crescendo rhythm right here, and she have something called staccato. All right, I think it's staccato, I think that's how it's pronounced, rhythm. And then she have another one called fortissimo, and she have another one called fermata. Okay, so these are her main ones, and then you have different ones right here called arpeggio. This is probably her base rhythm card in my opinion. This thing is really good, right, because you are actually able to reduce cost of each of these arpeggio cards and actually just cycle them back to back. Okay, so this is very good right here. So of course this arpeggio rhythm goes all the way up to 5, so there's 6 level 2. So you start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So it's 6 level 2, right? So this is pretty much her base rhythm card in my opinion. But let's talk about each of these rhythm cards. Okay, this is pretty much her main kit. Okay, so the base version of rhythm does what it does. It's a basic card, keep that in mind. Okay, because she's able to exhaust basic cards and create these rhythm cards. So yeah, I'm pretty sure as you can see, all of her rhythm cards are basic cards. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, yeah, she's probably the first character that is when it comes to her save data, you do not want to remove any of her cards pretty much. Okay, because in all of her cards she's actually able to utilize them, which is interesting, right? So yeah, let's talk about this rhythm. So what this does, 72% damage, and it will do 30% damage amount for each rhythm cards. Okay, and then activate one rhythm in hand. So the cool thing about this version of rhythm is when you activate this rhythm, you are actually able to activate another rhythm card that's on your hand. So if you have a bunch of these rhythm cards on hand, you are actually going to be able to activate all of them at once. Of course, there's a drawback called a performance burnout. What this performance burnout does is when stacked to 30, cannot use rhythm cards. Okay, and which is very interesting, right? And at the end of the turn, remove performance burnout. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Okay, when you are, so you can't just spam rhythm cards. Okay, because that'll be kind of broken. Okay, but yeah, that's the drawback right here. Now let's talk about the crescendo rhythm right here. What is crescendo? It's a bit different, right? It would do 216% damage, and they would do 40% damage amount for each rhythm in graveyard, right, for one turn. Discard cost of the next decrease cost of the next rhythm card activated by 1. This is really good. Instead of activating another rhythm card, this will actually decrease another rhythm card cost, which is actually pretty cool, right? And then of course it does more damage. So this is also a really good one right here. So the crescendo rhythm is really good. We got staccato. All right, staccato. What the staccato does is it will do 96% damage, and they will do 50% damage amount for each rhythm if the last card activated was a rhythm card. Increase cost by 1. This one is kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie, right? So what this does is it will do 96% damage, right? It will do 50% damage amount for each rhythm, right? And if the last card activated was a rhythm card, increase cost by 1. So I don't know what the point of this increasing the cost is. I don't know if this thing does more damage based on the cost. It doesn't say anything about that, so I don't know what the point of this increased cost version thing is. Yeah, this is one of the weirdest one that I haven't tested this one out, but yeah, it does really weird. Okay, but that's what it does. Okay. Next up, we have Fortissimo. This Fortissimo is a linked retain card. This is pretty much the type of card you want if you guys are planning to use it with Hide Mario. Okay, but the problem with this one is it does not have any quotes on it, and it does not have an effect that lets it activate when it's discarded. So this kind of, I don't know how effective it's going to be with Hide Mario, to be honest. Yeah, there's no quotas on it. If it had quotas on it, it would be really good, right? So this is not that good, okay, in my opinion. Okay, so what it does is it would do 108% damage, and it would do 55% damage amount for each linked rhythm, right? Which is interesting. Before activation, when 3 or more cards are linked, add 1. So yeah, as you guys know, this is pretty much what you guys want to use if you guys are planning to use Tenebria with Hide Mario. Okay, so pretty cool right there. And then you have Fermata, which is actually really good one. What this Fermata does is it will select one of 4 rhythm cards, which is crazy. So it will select any of these cards right here. Okay, you got Fortissimo, Staccato, Crescendo, and Rhythm, right? So you have all those, right? So it will let you select one of the 4 rhythm cards and change all rhythm cards into the selected card for 1 turn and draw one of them, 2 of them. This is actually a really good one. Okay, in my opinion, I do want to try a build with this one specifically because this is really good, and I want to go for the Crescendo one right here because this Crescendo one is really good, right? Because it would do 260% damage, and it would do 40% damage amount for each rhythm in graveyard, right? So this is very good, right, for 1 turn, and decrease cost of the next rhythm card activated, right? So yeah, if I'm able to create a bunch of these guys right here using this, it's gonna be amazing, right? Yeah, because it will change any rhythm card on hand into the selected one. So if you have like 9 basic rhythm cards on your hand, and then you use this card right here, and you select the Crescendo one, right? You select the Crescendo rhythm right here, and then you're gonna change all of these rhythm cards into the Crescendo version, right? So very, very good right there. So yeah, that one's really good. So I definitely want to try one build with Fermata right here. And of course we have the build I went with is with the Arpeggio right here. This Arpeggio one's really good because what it does is there's 6 level to it, and then each 2 level the effect of it actually changes. Okay, so as you can see, the first 2 level they have similar effect, right? They will draw one of the lowest cost rhythm card and decrease cost by 1 until activated, right? Both of them have the same effect, but then if you go to the level 2 and 3 version, they actually change into activate one of the highest cost rhythm cards in hand, right? So yeah, both of these are able to activate one highest cost rhythm card. So yeah, they're able to activate each other, right? Which is pretty cool. And then you have the Arpeggio 4 and 5, right? And this one is also different, right? What this one does is decrease cost of this card by 1 for each rhythm card in graveyard. So again, right, very, very good, right? So yeah, Arpeggio is probably the best one in my opinion, but I think this one also really good right here from Mata. So I definitely want to try build with that, and then pick like either the Crescendo one right here, and then or this one right here, and not this one actually, no. Yeah, this one could work as well, right? Because you are able to create a bunch of linked, Fortissimo cards, right, with using this. So, but I think for me personally, I would try it with Crescendo right here, or the base rhythm one, or this one right here, right? All 3 of them are pretty good to utilize using this right here. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Okay, so this is the build I have, and now let's talk about her other cards. Okay, so her main card pretty much for her kit is of course the music star card, because this is where you will be able to create different types of rhythm cards. Okay, and actually make it where the build you are running with her is actually suited to what you want, right? Using this card right here. Okay. Now let's talk about her other cards. Of course, her other really good card she have is of course called Photo Time. What this Photo Time does is it's a unique retain card. and the 1 performance buzz if a rhythm card is activated or moved to hand. Increase performance buzz of this card by 1 until activated max 9 times. Okay, and what this performance buzz is, at the end of the turn, 150% damage to random enemies for each performance buzz max 10 stack. Okay, this is really good, just to do extra damage with her, right? Very good right here. 150 is actually a good amount of damage right there. And then it's also a rhythm card, right? As you can see, because you do have the rhythm cards right here as well. So just keep that in mind. Activate a bunch of rhythm cards before you activate this card specifically, okay? Because again, once you reach the max 9 stack, then you are able to do a bunch of damage using the performance buzz effect right here, okay? So definitely you keep this. It does have retain on it, so you can use it anytime you want, right? Give this a stack up to 9, right? Like up to 10, I guess, right? And then activate it to do the most damage with it, right? So very good right there. And then another really good card she have is called Anchor. This Anchor card is what does it will do 122% damage if the last card activated was a rhythm card. Activate that card. This is really good, right? To let you activate even more rhythm cards, which is really good. You ideally want to use a rhythm card, then use this one, and then this one I'll let you activate whichever rhythm card you used beforehand, okay? So if you use, let's say, Crescendo, and then you use this again, right? You use this card right here. When you use this card, it will activate another Crescendo again, right? So just keep that in mind. Very good card right there. But it does have different epiphanies, right? Of course, the base is the first epiphany. Let you activate the rhythm card twice instead of once, right? Compared to the base version. And then you have an upgrade card right here called it's a unique card. So for every 2 rhythm card activated, 100% damage to the enemy with the lowest HP. This is also another extra damage you guys can do with this upgrade, so it's a really good one. And then you have a crazy one like this one right here that lets you activate all rhythm cards in graveyard. This one's insane. I definitely want to try build with this one because this is broken, okay? If you have like a bunch of rhythm cards in graveyard, it will activate all of them, okay? There's no limits. It will activate all of them, and yeah, you're just gonna be doing insane amount of damage with her stuff, right? Because she's gonna be spamming her rhythm cards right away, right after you activate all of them from the graveyard. So very good right there. Another one is this one right here. Right, the anchor one, they should throw 1, and if this card was a rhythm card, increase damage amount by 100% until activated for 1 turn, and repeat 1 more times, max 2 times, right? This one is cool, but I'm not a fan of it. I'll be honest with you, right? Because again, it makes it where you don't want to use rhythm cards unless you are able to stack a bunch of this 100% damage multiplier on it, right? So yeah, it kind of like slows down your like fight and run and stuff like that, because you ideally want to use a rhythm card once you have like a bunch of 100% stack on it, so you do the most damage with it, right? So yeah, this one is okay, but not a fan of it in my opinion. And then I have this one right here, which is for the next three rhythm cards activated, decrease cost by 1 and add 1 hit. This is the one I'm running with. This is actually a really good one, because again, it will let you add extra hits. Of course, if the enemy got elasticity and stuff, this is kind of useless, to be honest, but it's a really good one, okay? Because yeah, having that decrease cost by 1 plus add 1 hit effect is really good right there. So yeah, similar to like melee, right? Like multi-hit stuff. So yeah. Of course, she have another one called Call and Response. It's also another really good card for her. It's a haste card. What it does is 204% damage if in hand. Also treat as a rhythm card. This is really good. Of course, just to get even more rhythm cards for your Tenebria, right? Very good. And of course, it does have different types of epiphanies. My favorite one, in my opinion, is this one right here, because it will do 122% damage when a rhythm card is activated. Add 1 hit to this card, max 5 times, right? This is a really good one, right? Just to do a massive damage, right, with her. She gonna turn into like a mini, like a melee with this right here. And then she also have this one right here. This is also one like big nuke damaging card right here. What does it will have retain and haste effect on it, which is really good. And as you can see, it's a 7 cost card, but as you all know, when you see something like this, there's thing where it will let you decrease the cost of it, right? Which is the same here as well, right? It will do 740% damage if in hand. Also treat as a rhythm card, and then when a rhythm card is activated, decrease cost of this card by 1 until this card is activated. So yeah, once you are able to reduce the cost of this card down to 0, you are able to cast it for 0 cost, right? Because it does have retain on, so you can save it and use it whenever you want, which is really good, right? You ideally want to use it once you reach the 0 AP cost on it, okay? Pretty simple to do because you're gonna be activating a bunch of rhythm cards every turn, so you'll be able to get this pretty quickly. Of course, you have the base version right here, which will do 255% damage if in hand. Also treat as a rhythm card, right? And then at tournament, draw 2 rhythm cards. It's really good, right? Just to let you draw even more rhythm cards on your hand. And then you have something like this one right here, 244% damage times 2 if in draw pile or in hand. Activate this card when rhythm card is activated. This is actually really good, right? It's a 2 cost, but it will let you activate it for free if you use a rhythm card, right? When you use a rhythm card, it will activate, which is really good, right? So yeah, my favorite one, like I said, is this one right here. It's really good. It's technically better than this one right here, right? Better than this one because yeah, they are kind of similar, right? This is faster. It's a bit faster, right? Every turn you are able to do a bunch of damage, right, with this one. But this one you have to, skip multiple turns, before you are able to reduce the cost of this thing to 0. Then you can use it, right? So yeah, this one's a little better. Next up is, yeah, those are her main cards. Of course, she have her ultimate. What her ultimate does is for the next for the next 7 rhythm card activated, increase damage amount of rhythm cards by 7. If you activated 7 times, add 1 hit to the next 7 rhythm card is activated, right? So pretty much it's just adding more hit to your rhythm cards, and then you'll be able to do even more damage, right? So pretty simple ultimate right here, but it's a 7 cost ultimate, which is kind of insane. I think this is probably the highest ultimate right here I've seen. In my opinion, this is insane. I'm not gonna lie. But if you have her E2, what she's able to do is she's able to get something called photo card right here, and this photo card allow you to get 2 equal skill, which is crazy, right? So if you have her E2, yeah, it's a lot easier to use her ultimate. Just keep that in mind, okay? Now let's talk about the save that I'm running with her, okay? As you guys can see, when it comes to Tenebria, you do not want to remove pretty much any of her cards, okay? I accidentally removed one of her basic cards, unfortunately, but it's okay. I have 2 of her basic cards still, right? So yeah, this is the type of build I'm running on her. As you can see, I went with the arpeggio version of this music star card right here, okay? Because the arpeggio one is really good because it does have it got a lot of variety right here, right? It got like 6 levels, and then you'll be able to do insane damage with all of these cards right here, okay? And yeah, amazing right here. And the cool thing about this is if you manage to draw the 0 and 1 version, you are able to draw even more rhythm cards. And then if you draw the 2 and 3, you are able to activate each other right here. And yeah, it's a lot easier to cycle her rhythm card with arpeggio right here, okay? So arpeggio is a really good one, so I went with it. And then for her spotlight, as you can see, I went with, I didn't know which one I want to duplicate, to be honest. Most of her cards, you could duplicate them, in my opinion. So I kind of just duplicate like multiple cards like back to back, right? As you can see, I have 2 anchors, I have 2 call and respond cards, and I have 2 spotlight cards. So it's hard to decide like what kind of cards you want to duplicate on her, okay? Of course, I went with this one right here, the select up to 3 rhythm cards from among draw pile and graveyard, which is amazing, and move those cards to the top of the draw pile, and then you'll be able to draw one of those cards, okay? Of course, there's this one as well, right? I'll let you draw rhythm cards right here, as you can see, right? Draw 2 of those cards, discard all non-rhythm cards, right? This will let you draw 2 rhythm cards, right? But if the draw card is not a rhythm card, you actually just discard them, which is interesting. So yeah, there's another way to do it, but I like this one because it will let you select which rhythm card you want on her, right, instead of just randomly drawing. So I like this one a little bit better, right? So that's why I went with the one I went with, right? Because yeah, it lets me select a bunch of up to 3 of these guys right here, which is amazing, right? Of course, in my case, since I went with arpeggio, I'll be able to select up to 3 arpeggio cards right here, okay? Which is amazing. So yeah, very good. And I duplicate this twice. I was actually hoping to duplicate this 3 times because I think this is probably one of the best card you guys can duplicate on her, just to to help you cycle through her rhythm cards a lot easier, okay? And then for the call and respond card, I went with this one, right? The multi-hit effect, right? As you can see, I have 2 of them, but just to do even more damage with her. This is her main damaging source, in my opinion. So this is a really good one, right? Of course, she could also do like a bunch of them with her rhythm cards, right? She's able to spam rhythm cards back to back. So again, right? But this is one of her main ways of doing like a burst damage, right? So I duplicate this twice, which is okay. And then for Anchor, the reason I duplicate this twice is because I want the upgrade version as well right here, okay? So I went with the upgrade version on one of them, and then for the other one, I went with this one right here, right? 122% damage. If the last card activated with a rhythm card, activate that card 2 more times, right? Which is amazing. And then we have the Divine Infinity that lets us do increased damage by 100%. So this is the kind of build I'm running on. I went with the, you know, Gearbag is really good, not just to help her, you know, hopefully draw more rhythm cards, because yeah, usually when you start a fight with her, it's kind of hard to get the rhythm cards on hand from the get-go. So having this one is really good, and we have initiation on it as well. So yeah, really good one, right? And then we have this one right for time, which, you know, there's no funny on it, but it's a really good card as well, right? Now, like the type of team you guys want to run on her, in my opinion. So when it comes to like her, before that, when it comes to her memory fragment, I went with this one, right? Just because I have a good like sub stats on them, right? As you can see, I have crit rate, crit damage, right? And then we win the crit. For her, she doesn't have a specific like memory fragment you guys can want to use with her. You can use like a 2/2/2 set on her. I think it works fine. I went with this one just because I have like good stat on them, right? But when it comes to like team wise, I think one of her best teammate in my opinion is Melin. Okay, Melin is insane with her, especially if you have a save data like this one right here. Okay, as you can see, I have this save data on Melin. One thing you guys want to keep in mind is if you want to use character like Melin or any other card with Tenebria, you definitely don't want to remove their basic cards right here, okay? Because what Tenebria does is at the start of the turn, she's able to exhaust all these basic cards and give them rhythm cards, okay? So definitely make sure to keep all the basic cards, okay? So this is a build I went with. As you can see, I went with a crate version because at the start of the battle, we actually just gonna exhaust these guys, so we won't be able to move them from the graveyard or the drop out to hand using the Epiphany on this one, right? Using this Epiphany, all right? Let me show you guys, right? Using this Epiphany right here, we won't be able to do that, or using the draw Epiphany right here, okay? So you definitely want to go for the crate version, because the crate version, it would just create these basic cards anytime you want, right? So very good right here. Of course, I have 3 dupes of this, which is really good, and then I went with 2 dupes on this. I was actually planning to go for 4 dupe on this, but I, you know, ended up getting a dupe on this randomly, so I just duped it, right? And then for I just went with this random persona card right here. Like that lets me get 250% shield and then move 1 random attack card of this unit from the graveyard to hand. They're pretty simple stuff right here, but yeah, definitely make sure to give her a create strike card effect right here, okay? This is what you want if you want to, you know, still utilize Melin's kit as well, okay? Of course, the other stuff, I went with this one right here. I think this one's really good, especially because, again, Tenebria, she works off of basic cards, and yeah, she's able to, you know, utilize basic cards to do her stuff, right? So this is actually a really good one right here. What does for 1 turn when using an on card, right? When using on card, plus 50% on basic card damage amount, right? So this pretty much lets me buff my create strike cards as well as the rhythm cards I'm gonna get by exhausting these guys right here, right? Using Tenebria. So this is a really good one right here. So I went with that. So I think Melin is probably one of our best teammate in my opinion, right? So I'll show you guys a quick showcase of how they work, and then we can, you know, move on, okay? Oh, also, if you guys are building Tenebria, definitely, man, this is one of the best effects you guys can get on your Tenebria right here, okay? What does when unlike haste cards activated, increase damage amount of the next attack card of this unit used by 25. This is a really good one because, again, Tenebria, she does have a lot of haste cards, and if you are using somebody like Hydra with her, Hydra also got haste cards as well. So, you know, and even Idol Hydra, she got haste cards as well. So definitely, this is a really good one right here, okay? So another really good engraving you guys can use with her, okay? But okay guys, I want to show you guys how she works, okay, and how my build works kind of, okay, in this Nebula distortion, because it's an extended fight, so it's gonna be, you know, a good place to showcase what she's able to do. Of course, we're gonna use her with Melin, as you can see, because Melin is one of her best teammates you guys can use with her, because yeah, they work really well together actually, which is interesting, right? But yeah, let's get started and let's see if I don't know if we will be able to clear this, because this thing does a lot of damage, but we'll see, right? We'll see. And it does increase our costs as well, so which is kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. But we do have 5 different cards right here, right? Arpeggio cards, because as you can see, it changed like 4 of these guys right here into Arpeggio cards, okay, into one of our rhythm cards, okay. So yeah, but I think for now what I'm gonna do here is probably gonna just activate her upgrade cards, do this, and then we're gonna just do up this, and then we're gonna call it a day, okay? Because this guy, he does a lot of damage, so yeah, we might be in trouble here. Boom, boom. Of course, he summons his little guys as well, as you can see, and they also do a lot of damage. So yeah. Anyways, let's get boom. Okay, let's get a little bit more AP on us. You see, every turn they are attacking me, unfortunately, right? Let's do this right here, right? Just to do extra damage on them. And then I am actually just gonna do, see, once we use one card, which is also activating her one of her rhythm cards as well, right? Which is interesting. I'm actually just gonna activate Tenebria, like her Lantern, and then we're gonna call it a day, okay? Because yeah, we don't have a good hand, unfortunately. Of course, yeah, they're gonna do a lot of damage to us, unfortunately, as well. Yeah, the fact that this thing is increasing our cost is annoying, so I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so let's just get going. Okay, boom. Okay, to activate one highest cost card, so we're gonna do this, target the minions because they are annoying as hell, right? And then we're gonna activate this as well again, right? Boom. And then this one also lets us activate a card as well, which is nice. So we're gonna do boom. Hopefully we could crit. There you go. Right, this is pretty much how she works, right? So you do this, she does her thing, right? Boom, boom, right? And then we do have this right here, the 10 performance buzz effect right here, right? And then we do have the, you know what I'm saying, the 7 stack on, what's her name, Melin, right? So boom. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is actually, I'm actually gonna hit it, and then we're gonna activate the card, okay? Actually, no, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna activate the other card, right? Yeah, the rhythm buzz stuff is pretty cool, right? And we're gonna hit with this, boom, 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 boom. Of course, this thing got elasticity, unfortunately, and then it does take reduced damage, so just keep that in mind, okay? Yes, he gonna hit us really hard now. See, you see that follow up right there? Because of that's from her rhythm card right there, okay? That is broken, okay? So that what you saw right there is from this card right here, okay? So that's how that works right there. Let me show you guys. This one right here, the performance buzz effect right here, okay? So very, very strong character right there. And then now we have this, so we're gonna activate, boom. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna draw our rhythm cards as well, right? And then what I could do here is probably not a lot, right? I'm not gonna be able to do a lot here, but I think we could still do damage right here, boom, right? And then we're gonna do this, right? Create this, and then select the rhythm up to 3. Okay, so we could do that as well. So we're gonna do this right here. We're gonna boom, 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 right? Select each of them right here, and then what I could do is I could activate this, and then we could hit this guy right here. We're probably gonna die here, unfortunately, because again, this thing is doing too much damage to us. But you know, you guys get the idea how it should work, right? Yeah, see, this guy's gonna kill us right now. He's doing way too much damage. So yeah, but we're gonna end the turn, and yeah, we're gonna let him kill us right here. Okay, so I'm rerunning this run just to beat this thing because I know she could beat it, right? So let's just do this and let's call it a day, right? So once we kill this guy, I'll show you guys, you know, the partners and stuff like that, okay? If you guys want to use any partner with her and stuff, we're gonna talk about that as well. Of course, this thing gonna attack me like non-stop, annoying ass, right? Let's see if we could get a 0 cost card right here. Nope, we did not get one. Can we? Okay. Anyways, it doesn't matter, right? Let's keep going, right? Of course, this thing, you know, he's smacking us around out here. But as you can see, we are pretty much doing this pretty easily, right? So let's do this. Grab another set of like, you know, rhythm cards as well, right? So we're gonna hit this thing and then we're gonna boom, right? We're gonna boom, right? We're just gonna kill with the rhythm cards. Yeah, bro's dead. See? So yeah, that's pretty much how my build is working so far. It's a really good build, I think. But you know, you guys probably running different build on her. I think, like I said, I do want to try a build with her using the other card right here. So let me show you guys. So this is of course our main card, but I do want to try build using which is Crescendo right here, I think, right? Yeah, using this Epiphany specific, right, the Fermata one, and then selecting the Crescendo out of this, and then, you know, turning all the rhythm cards into Crescendo, and then using it direct. So this is one build I do want to try, so we're gonna do that as well. But yeah, for now, this is pretty much Tenebria for you. She's a very interesting character. Is she must summon? Probably not, right? She's not that crazy, right? But she's definitely unique, okay? Of course, partner-wise, you guys can definitely use her main partner. Her main partner is really good, especially because what it does is it will increase, well, what she does is her name is Aria. So increase assigned combat attack by 16%, which is really good, and then increase damage amount of assigned combat basic attack card by 4% for each basic attack card that shares the same name, which is crazy. Example, the rhythm cards, right? So since Tenebria is able to change any basic card into rhythm card, this is gonna be insane right here, okay? You are gonna be easily getting that 24% boost, because again, right, basic attackers that share the same name, right? So yeah, very cool right there. And then when a basic card, when a basic attack card is activated, the assigned combat again one swallow melody. And what the swallow melody does is it will give her a 5% increased critical damage to the assigned combat, which is very good. And this thing stacks up to 4 times, so it's like 20% crit damage, which is very good. And then you have the active right here, increase damage amount of the assigned combat basic attack card by 20%, which is very good. And then if the assigned combat echo skill was used, decrease cost of the assigned combat basic attack card by 1 for 1 turn, right? So ideally you want to use her, you want to use Tenebria's ultimate and then use that card right here, okay? So you want to use this and then you're going to use a partner, right, to get the most out of it, right? But yeah, very good partner right here. And of course, you know, if you guys don't have that partner, you guys can actually just use like someone like Eloise, right? Eloise is pretty good as well, right? I think that's, yeah, she's pretty much the only option you guys have technically, right? So Eloise, very good. She's also pretty decent, I guess, right? She does give you the 60% increase attack, right? Zatera, which is a 3-star character. But outside of that, yeah, they try. Eloise is pretty much your go-to, right? So very cool right there. But yeah, Tenebria, and of course you guys can. I do also want to try her with Rita. I think she might work really well with Rita, because again, there's a build you guys can do with Rita's basic attack right here, with the time acceleration. But we'll see, right? It might not work too well, because again, Rita usually focuses around using her own basic cards, right? This is time acceleration instead of, you know, rhythm cards, right? So it might not work as well, but again, you guys can, you know, experiment with that as well. But yeah, any character that does a lot of basic attack, yeah, she's gonna work really well with them, right? I think Charon will be really good with her as well, right? Because if you look at Charon, for example, right, as you can see, his futility cards are kind of basic cards, right? They are considered basic cards, so it might work. I don't know, we'll see, right? But again, right, you have, you know, multiple basic cards right here, you know, so it might, you know, you could do some, you know, build with that as well, right? But yeah, of course, Idolite is really good with her as well, right? Just keeping that basic cards and then turning them into rhythm and then doing your thing with that. I think Hidemari works really well with her as well, with the rhythm. You know, the Aleshu link cards and stuff like that, the one's pretty good, right, with Hidemari. But since it does not have like, you know, quotes and stuff like that, you ideally want to use Tenebria's card, so you can activate it, right, while also being able to activate the Hidemari's skill as well, right? Because Hidemari cards, like linked cards, the sword ring cards, they do have coitus on them, so they can activate even if you just discard them, right? So yeah, you can link Hidemari card with Tenebria card and then use Tenebria attack card, because since it doesn't have coitus, you want it manually activated, and then you activate all of Hidemari's stuff as well, right? So yeah, again, a really good one, right? I forgot Tifera's name, is crazy, man. Yeah, so Tifera, right, very good user as well, right, just to give you extra AP and stuff. But yeah, outside of that, pretty much, yeah, that's Tenebria for you, man. Let me know what kind of build you guys are running on her, and let me know what you guys think about
her. Okay, yeah, very interesting character, I'm not gonna lie, right? I was not expecting her to work like this, I'll be honest with you, but it's interesting, right? Anyways, thank you for watching, and of course don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and bye bye.